Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Hope you have enjoyed our Thursday. Obviously, I released a video a little bit earlier, and if you haven't seen it, please obviously go have a little watch and listen as to what's happened with the centre-back position. This video will be mostly positive. I won't lie, the last one was a little bit negative. This one will be mostly positive with just a creeping of negativity around something in particular. This, obviously, we're going to be talking about the man on the thumbnail. Rolando, it might be Randall, actually. Randall Kolo Muani. Apologies, didn't know the first name. I knew the last name, at least. And we're talking, obviously, about Kolo Muani. We'll also be talking about a fresh and brand new striker that we might have an interest in. I'll let you know a little bit more about it in a second. We'll talk a little bit about Harry Kane and a update around the Bayern Munich and PSG camps on Harry Kane, as well as some centre-back updates as well. So it's a big video, it's a long video, a little bit longer than normal, so I won't stall, I won't hold back. We're going to jump straight in, and we're going to start, obviously, with the man on the thumbnail himself, Randall Kolo Muani. Now, if you're not sure about Kolo Muani, he's a French international who plays in the Bundesliga for Frankfurt. This came from Christian Falk, obviously, probably the main guy in terms of German reporting and German journalism. That's a tongue twister. And he said that Tottenham are interested in Randall Kolo Muani as a replacement for Harry Kane. So, with the situation of Ivan Toney's betting ban, and that being well into the season of us having to wait to get him in, obviously, Richarlison's there, so it's not an utter concern or disaster if we wouldn't. But with that being said, when you look at the names that we've been sort of linked to, Kolo Muani would be the number one option. He'd also probably be the most expensive option. So just give you a bit of an update on Kolo Muani and his stats for the year that's just been. So I'm just going to look at last year. And honestly, phenomenal season. Okay, so he's a 24-year-old striker who's played 9 times for the national team, France. He played in 32 games in the Bundesliga. He scored 15 and he assisted 14 times. Okay, so we're talking about a guy who pretty much had a goal contribution every game, which is really nice. Okay, so a guy who will get you some goals, but he's also getting you quite a good amount of assists. He obviously played 7 times in the Champions League, scoring 2, and he scored 6 times and assisted 3 times in the German Cup within 6 games. So had a pretty prolific German Cup. Obviously, I'm not sure who they played. They might have played, me, you, the guy down the road, up the road, and the dog as well. So, we don't know exactly who they played, but when you look at it, does get you a lot of goal contributions. Now, with Kolo Muani, the interesting thing I found sort of doing the research on him is, one, what they value his transfer market, and secondly, his contract. So, Kolo Muani, they reckon on the transfer market website, if you don't know, transfer market, very good website, lots of information. That's where I get the bulk of my information. They valued him on June 22nd. At 80 million euros. So we're looking at the low 70 million pounds. His contract also runs until the summer of 2027. So Frankfurt have a ton of power in this situation if they were to sell him. Now, obviously, they'd love to sell him abroad, so he doesn't go to Bayern Munich and he doesn't go to Dortmund. He goes abroad, he goes away, he doesn't, potentially doesn't have to see, they don't have to see him come back and strike vengeance on them or anything like that. But he's going to be very expensive. If we're looking to sell Harry Kane for 100 million, you're probably going to have to spend about that for Kolo Muani alone. Now, don't get me wrong, we should be spending every penny that we get from Harry Kane, we should be spending. When you think of all the goal contributions that he gives us, without him, we are an absolute shell of a team. So we would have to spend every single penny of that. He would cost every single penny. So it's interesting that we keep now getting linked to Kolo Muani. I don't know if there's a ton of substance to the story. It just shows that we have the interest in him, which, that only gets leaked out because someone wants it out. That's always the saying with these things. Moving a little bit on to what the other striker source that I didn't really expect, and I can't lie, I didn't know a ton about him. Which, look, guilty as charged. It sounds awful. So, coming from France, we've been linked to a striker by the name of Wahi. Okay, now, if you know who that is, fair play to you, because I didn't. He is a 20-year-old striker in the Ligue 1, French striker. He played 33 times last year in Ligue 1, scoring 19 and assisting 6. So 25 goal contributions in 33 games is it's no easy feat. And at 20, that's quite impressive. I know it's Ligue 1 and I know it's not the most intense league and difficult league in the world, but that was quite impressive. And he plays for Montpellier, who, they are the Lyon, they're not the Marseille, and they're not the PSG. They're a good, solid team, but they're not top of the table contenders, right? A transfer market from June 27th valued him at 35 million euros, so high 20 million pounds, maybe early 30 million pounds. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I think he's amazing, he's this, he's that. But for 20 years old to get 25 goal contributions, people were raving about Balogun, obviously, who played at Rennes last year, the Arsenal striker. I don't really hear much about Wahi, although he is heavily linked to Chelsea. But then again, who hasn't been linked to Chelsea? Obviously, I'll probably wait to see a little bit more information on LEA and what kind of player he's like, what his stats are like, in terms of past years, what his style of play is. But just to give you a bit of points, if you did know much about Wahi, then we are having that interest in him. I think I'll wait and see if that ever really goes there before I just jump straight into the deep end with that one and do loads of digging and research on him. We'll have to wait and see. But his contract expires in 2025. So we're coming up to that summer period now where Montpellier might be looking to cash in. Because the last season of a window that you normally have a bit of power is the second to last of his contract. This is it. So they might be looking to cash in. So, moving a little bit on to the Kane front. So, I talked about how we do have a bit of an update, and we do have an update. This comes from Ben Jacobs of CBS, and he says that Bayern's third bid for Harry Kane is expected to be close around 100 million euros. New round of talks with Daniel Levy is incoming. Bayern optimistic, even though they've struggled to date to get a price out of Levy. I think as time goes on, I think I'm more and more aware that we're probably going to be selling Harry Kane, if I'm honest. I don't think we obviously need the money as such, as it's more that we want that money, that we don't want to potentially risk losing out on him. Now, I believe if you are fully confident you get top football with, really good success within the cups, then you would keep him knowing that he's probably going to sign a contract next summer, all is well. But a part of me just thinks, let's just get this circus out of the way, move him on, and just kind of forget about the Harry Kane era and kind of move into this new era now where we're in the Ange Postecoglou era, where we should be giving him all the funds possible, all the support possible, to really give him a fighting chance of succeeding. And right now, the window so far hasn't really gone that way. He has said himself, obviously, he has frustrations about the window so far. And I think that partially is not only people coming in, but people going out. Like I said in the previous video, I think he does have an idea of who he does want to sort of move on now. Winks was obviously one. Sanchez seems to be probably the second one. But, we do need to get rid of a fair few more. And who they are, obviously, in time will probably come out next sort of 2 weeks or so. But I think we obviously need two centre-halves, two quality centre-halves as well. Not just good, okay, average, poor. They have to be starter level that are going to really impact us. Because I believe, with no European football coming this year, we're playing once a week, sometimes, well, very rarely twice a week. We don't need a big squad. We need quality in the squad. And there's no reason why with a quality back line, when you look at the attacking options that we have, you look at the midfield with creativity that we're going to have, there's no reason why top four isn't on the cards. But right now, you can't sit there and say, you look at the squad and you look at that team and think that's top four bound. It's just not. It's just not. That back line looks... I think if you had a solid centre-half alongside Romero, I think it makes a world of difference. Because I really like Destiny. I think Pedro offers you so much going forward that a solid number 6, a quality box-to-box, and an in-form, aware and on it Christian Romero, you can cover up the right back issues. You know, there's a reason why Liverpool don't drop Trent. He offers you too much going forward. You know, there's a reason why in the past, you know, we've gotten away with Kyle Walker being so far up the pitch, because we've had so many people ready and willing to defend for him. You know, Alderweireld was always there. You had Victor Wanyama, a Dembele potentially being there. You know, you'd have Eric Lamela working his backside backwards. You know, all these things help Aaron Lennon for a little while. So all these things play a massive part. But moving a little bit on to a little bit more news on the Kane front, and I think this is where it gets very interesting, because I think we've always been programmed to Bayern have got the pick of the field. They're just going to sign him. That's it, done. They can kind of name their figure, and that's what they're paying a wage. You're going to have to sit there and take it. I think PSG are going to come in and they're not going to go down without a fight, because sources claim Levy has been close to agreeing a deal to sell Kane to PSG, but the striker does not want to move to France. PSG remain willing to outbid any other club for Kane, but would take a major U-turn for the England captain. Well, the major U-turn might be 500-600 grand a week. Loads of benefits that, you know, other people get. You're going to be the main guy at PSG. They seem to be going this new way of clearing out some of the bigger names. You know, Verratti's obviously gone to Al Hilal, or he's about to go to Al Hilal, sorry. Mbappe pretty much looks like they're trying to get rid of Mbappe. So, you know, you never know with the whole PSG thing. You could never rule out that move, even though Kane may not want it. If Bayern don't give us the deal that we want, and PSG do, we'll say, look, Harry, this is the deal. It's PSG. Come on. They've offered the deal. We've accepted it. Come on, let's go. And then it'll be down to Bayern to match it. And that's why it's the beautiful thing. PSG will keep bidding. Bayern then have to match it. Therefore, we will cash in with a little bit more of a... They're willing to get to 100 million euros. Great. Well, we want 100 million pounds. PSG will push the bid there. Bayern will follow. So, I don't know. I'm happy to see that. But yeah, Matt Law has said that the Bayern situation is complicated by the fact that sources claim Daniel Levy had agreed to that. So that was from Matt Law, sorry, I forgot to say. So that is a little bit of interesting news on the Kane front, really. I see it moving up. This is my general opinion. I know in the comments, you know, I'll always try and respond to all your comments. I'll always happily chat with you. I do, just on the video, I'll say it here, I do believe he will go, at least by the end of the window. I do probably think it's going to be Bayern Munich, but I do think we get the deal that we want, nor the 60 million bid that they pretty much put in and thought that might be enough to get us to drop our value. I think it's 100 million pounds is what we want, and I think we get 100 million pounds. What we do with that is a hell of a question, and it should be all spent. It shouldn't be, we'll spend 60 and we'll call it there. Don't worry, but we'll save it for January. No, do it now. Because you said that about Conte and it went bloody nowhere. So we do it now, we spend it now, we give ourselves a fighting chance for the first 5-6 months. And then we see how we go in January. Then we add more to it if we need to. It's what a competent club does. They don't just hold things back and wait and see how the first 4 or 5 months of a season goes. You know, come on. Spend the money now. Set us up with a chance. Give us a chance. That's all it is. That's all any fan can ever want from their club. Be it a relegation club, be it a club who is on the precipice of getting into the top 10, or in Europe, top 4, title winning. They just want a chance. If you're Man City, you want more than a chance. But with most clubs, you just want a chance to be able to attain these things. And that's what we deserve as fans. As you know, we pay hard-earned money to go and watch these games. We pay hard-earned money for merchandise. A lot of fans pay hard-earned money to go fly abroad to watch us. We deserve a chance of success. That's all I'm saying. All right? So, moving into... You could deem it as negative, but I would say it's more of a clearing situation when it comes to this one. So, we talked in the previous video, Tapsoba and Mickey Van de Ven, looks like those deals... I mean, it looks like those deals are probably dead, but if they're not, they're so difficult to do. I mean, Fabrizio Romano about Tapsoba, it says that Tottenham Hotspur are still working on a deal for Edmond Tapsoba, but he remains a top target, but it's not easy to get a deal done because Bayer Leverkusen want a big fee. Spurs are still trying to find a way. They're going to want 50, 60 million. We're probably going to want to give 40 million. They don't want to budge. And I don't blame him. You want to keep him, but if you're going to sell him, you name a price. That's the price that I want. Look at Declan Rice. They wanted 100 million. Arsenal didn't want to pay it. West Ham went, well, City wanted, and then Arsenal went, all right, we'll give you 100 million. And they went, thank you very much, done. Off you go, right? They didn't budge for the price. And fair play to West Ham for not budging for the price. Just because a player may want to leave doesn't matter. You have a valuation and you say, look, you could go as long as the valuation's hit. And it's not unreasonable to say that was an unreasonable price when you look at the going market and how it's going. So with Harry, we want 100 million. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to hold on for 100 million. Leverkusen want 60 million. They're going to hold on for 60 million. The important thing is, before we start getting this money for Harry Kane that we may sell him, we have to spend the money first, because we don't want to get hit with an extra 20% added onto our fee. Instead of it being a £50 million fee, now it's a £60 million fee, just because they know we've got extra money from Kane. There's a key point. So he said that about Edmond Tapsoba from Mr. Romano. And then this one is interesting. So it's come out that Tosin Adarabioyo, the centre-back at Fulham that is, in theory, I think probably our third target on the list. It looks like he's off to Monaco, and he's chosen Monaco over Spurs. I think potentially over the fact that Fulham obviously want to sell him abroad because they don't have to deal with him. Kind of like the Kolo Muani idea that Bayern Munich might come and sniff around him. Also, taxes and things like that in Monaco, obviously, more favourable towards yourself. You're more likely to get European football every year because Monaco normally are in around that area. But also, you're not going to get mucked around. You've got the deal sorted. You're going to get the move that, sorted, and then you can kind of get on with your career. Instead of, Tottenham are going to come for me? Are they going to want me? And then you play out your last season at Fulham and you're a bit like, kind of wish I went to Monaco last season. I would have really liked that. So, yeah, it's come out that he has basically chosen Monaco over us. And it is a shame, really, because I think when you look at the Van de Ven news earlier and the fact that we basically were told that, the deal hasn't progressed whatsoever, the deal potentially is done, right? And you're thinking, oh, God, right, okay, well, Tapsoba is the guy that we want anyway. That's not a bad thing, right? Well, then it comes out that, Tapsoba's deal is actually more difficult. They want such a high fee. You're like, for goodness sake, who are we going to get then? And then it turns out, Tosin Adarabioyo is the third guy. Actually, no, he's off to Monaco. Panic stations now get hit. You either give the money for Tapsoba or we go and get a fourth or fifth option that we never really wanted in the first place. And then we pretend that's who we wanted all along, which we didn't. And I think all fans know that fourth or fifth option isn't the person that we wanted unless they're an unbelievable star, which we've got the money to spend. And we've got the money to spend on Tapsoba. But if you don't view him at 60 million, but view another player at 60 million, that's who you go for. But I think you're going to start to see panic stations hit a little bit when you realise, actually, the third option's off the table now. It's either Van de Ven or Tapsoba. I don't see us getting both. It'll be one of them. And we're going to have to really start playing ball with the two German clubs as to which one we're going to go for. But we shall see. But yeah, a little bit of sad news about Tosin. It's definitely number one off the list. I know some people weren't too keen on him, but it's a person off the list. We now are backed into a corner a little bit more. But anyway, guys, that's the video. I know it's a long one today. There was plenty to talk about. Obviously, with the new striker potentially coming in, with Harry Kane leaving, with obviously Tosin going to Monaco, with the Tapsoba deal being a little bit tougher. There was so much to talk about, and I know there'll be so much to talk about in the comments. So I'm happy, and I'm looking forward to seeing and talking with you all there. Obviously, guys, if you did enjoy the video, please like it. Hit me in the comment section. Kolo Muani, would he be a guy to replace Kane? Kane going? Yes or no? Do you feel like it is? Unhappy about the Tosin move for him to go to Monaco and the Tapsoba situation itself? Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're very close to 800, which is quite exciting. Okay, didn't expect it to pick up so quickly when I sort of kicked off again this summer. And obviously hit the bell notification for more. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the video, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care, lads.